Dum, 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 dum.
I'm recording.
Cool.
You have 8 seconds.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Frankie-san.
Now, Mark.
Okay, we got a couple of quick announcements. We didn't have time for the last show, and basically what happened was we found out we got renewed for the rest of the summer. So we're going into our 31 years. I want to thank, we got a couple shout outs. I want to thank all the engineers who helped us out. We want to thank Richard, Eric, Brian, Anna, Ryan, and Malik for helping us out, putting the show together so we can go on the air. So my partner over here chokes to death here. You can check out all the shows on YouTube, and don't forget about Instagram. Okay, we're also there. We always take a couple photos before or after the show, and we post them, especially with the background. And today, of course, we promise you all Star Trek. Okay, folks, some quick news, but you got some shout-outs about the channels?
Yes, yeah.
Besides YouTube,
yes, besides YouTube, here's the shout-outs for the channel. We're on RCN channel 83, Vios 34, Spectrum 56 and 1996. And if you watch on live on mmm.org, web channel 2, Lifestyles channel. And that's when you can watch us live every other Saturday.
Right. I think in certain parts of the city, I think it's channel 56 or 57.
Yep.
But I know a lot of people go out on Saturdays and they have dinner around this time at 5 o'clock. And, well, basically, you can catch up with us on YouTube channel. We record the show live, and it takes about 24, 48 hours, and it'll be up by Monday morning. Anyway, so some good news. As you know, Black Panther got the SAG Award, Screen Actors Guild, the whole cast ensemble, and it might get
Incredible.
Best Picture. My favorite picture, of course, I said the Green Book, but if Black Panther gets it, I have no problem with it. I think it'd be really cool. Of course, you know what happens with that. Of course, favorite girl here, that's right. She plays Michonne on The Walking Dead. She has officially left the show. Everybody is quitting The Walking Dead.
Well, I guess there's just so many seasons of the same thing that you can do before it becomes repetitive, I guess. And a lot of people tell me that a lot of filming goes down there in Georgia. And Georgia's like one of the hottest states out there. And a lot of the cast there were constantly complaining about how hot it is down there.
It's hot and humid when they film. And a lot of them leave because of that.
They can't take it.
Yeah, they can't take the weather. As a matter of fact, what's the name on Discovery? Yeah. She had an opportunity to get on a Star Trek franchise, and she left The Walking Dead. She plays, I forgot her role, Michael on the Discovery show. Oh. And she came from The Walking Dead, and now she's getting a lot of offers. What I keep forgetting her name. Let me just get it straight from the book. Diana, how you say that? How you pronounce that name?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Diana Gurira. Gurirat?
Can anybody read that? Anyway,
well,
let's just call her Dinah, okay? Anyway, she's getting a lot of opportunities, and she's off The Walking Dead. What was it? The guy who created George Romero, who created the Zombies, Night of the Walking Dead, he said it became a soap opera, and the ratings are going down. And now AMC is bragging, we're gonna do spin-offs. Good luck with that. As a matter of fact, a movie called World War Z.
Brad Pitt.
and they put a stop to that. They said zombies are out of fashion, out of mode, and they're going to have a sequel to World War Z.
No, it's not really out of fashion, out of mode. It's just like with everybody, you have a story and you drag it out, and this is so long you can drag it out. Look at with everything in life, right? If you have a book, some books want to be like 300, 500 pages, and you know those books are dragging. They're dragging because it's a story that can be more condensed, but they have to make it big in order to give that price point of like $30 or $40 to charge you, and you can feel like you're not being ripped off. Same thing with everything. Like I'm going to pick up this comic book. Same thing with comic books. Remember comic books? Like they would have a story where a fight would break out, and the fight would take so long, the drawings become bigger and bigger on the comic book that would where they finally come out with the end of the story was so long it dragged on to because they had to make money back for the comic book that they were selling.
Well, okay, this is a good example right here. $3.99. $4, and it's only a couple pages, folks. You know, it took me about 5 minutes to read right through this here. Yeah. But it's a pretty interesting story. This is the Q conflict. This is issue number 1 of 6. Oof. Okay, and basically what Q has a fight with the other Qs in the universe, and they decide, okay, let's have Picard and all the different generations of Star Trek, of the Enterprises, get together and let them have the war. Instead of us Qs having the war, let all the different generations of the Star Trek crews have the war and stuff. I think it's a great premise. You know, I think
but they dragged it off for 6 comic books.
Yeah, so
so that'll be 6 multiplied by 4.
Yeah, so basically, meantime, you can read this in about 5 minutes. But I like the concept better than Discovery. We're not going to talk too much about Discovery because basically, all the fans on YouTube have said the same thing, that the show just plain sucks. I mean, they came up with this concept about...
But remember, if you say anything bad about them, they can knock us down because we're showing their image.
No, we're showing the old image. We're not showing anything of Discovery. Well, but tell them about that story.
There's this whole story with Star Trek. Your shows can get pulled down, especially if you're up on YouTube. And even if you show an image, remember, and you say something bad about them that's defamatory, they could pull you down because, boom, you're showing an image of theirs. It doesn't matter what image it is. This is their property. This is their intellectual property. And if you speak badly about them and they don't like what you're saying, boom, you get taken down. And it's their right. I understand that unless we take this down and we don't mention it.
Okay, that takes care of that.
But it might be too late because we already had it up there.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
So we probably shouldn't be saying anything bad. Like across all franchises, even Star Wars, if they wanted, they can just take you down. There was this fan thing on YouTube that was made by one of the fans on Star Wars. He asked permission if he could do it. They said it was okay. He put it up, and then they took it down because I guess the lawyers didn't know that they had this agreement, and then eventually they let it back up. But remember, anything they use, all of this stuff is not our intellectual property. If they wanted to take us down because we're showing the images, boom, they could have us taken down.
Be my guest. I mean, we've been doing this for 30 years, and I never had a problem with that. If they got a problem now, hey, fungal. You know, what can I say? I mean, if anything, we're giving them free publicity. If good or bad, you know, we're mentioning Discovery. Not a very good show. Fine. Then spend all the money on a garbage show, and then they're going to have a spin-off. The last show they had, the one before that, they introduced Michelle Yeoh again, and she's part of the Mission 31 or some Section 31.
Yeah, Section 31. Which was created from Deep Space Nine. So it was supposed to be like the CIA and their whole interpretation of their rules, and they were called Section 31.
Right. It was something like.
Like I said, it came up from Deep Space Nine.
Right. The concept was from DS9. Right.
And that DS9 concept, you know, I hate to say this, but it was originally Babylon 5's concept, where they had one of the, I guess, Mr. Chekhov from Star Trek, who was in Deep Space Nine, and he had sort of like a power. And there was a special crew of people that had the power, almost like Jedis.
Oh no! What the cops have that?
Which one?
The cops
in Babylon 5?
No, the ordinary New York City cops, real cops, New York City cops.
Okay.
Okay. Well, they got a section where as cops keeping an eye on cops.
No. This was it wasn't a cops keeping an eye on cops. Well, but Section 31 was supposed to be more of the CIA. They were doing covert activities.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's what they were. And in Babylon 5, there were side cops. They
Right.
basically were like a CIA organization, and they were above the law.
Oh well, the Nazis had that. World War II.
Well, yeah. Well, that's
They had the Gestapo.
interpretation.
The Gestapo kept an eye on the German soldiers. They kept an eye on all the corrupt people within the military.
Well, they're basically keeping an eye for dissent for Hitler. So it's basically government keeping an eye on everybody.
Right. So basically, that's where that concept comes from. Michelle Yeoh is in charge of that unit, or she works for that unit, something like that. That's another spin-off which nobody is asking for.
Well, if they wanted, they should have kept bring back the original writers, but I guess in the long pass of Deep Space Nine or High of the Babylon 5 writers,
No,
which is the same show.
Well, they all went to work for Orville. A lot of the writers said he took
Which
them.
one? Next Generation or Deep Space Nine or
both.
Babylon 5?
They're all three of them. He's got. As a matter of fact, I showed this before. This is the. What is it? Season 3, and this has a tribute to Michael Piller, who wrote a lot of the good shows, and it has a reunion of the show's key writing staff, moderated by Seth MacFarlane, and some of the writers that he talks to. It's almost like an hour and a half interview. MacFarlane is talking to the writers, how they created the concept, this and that, and some of the writers are now working on Orville. Orville is basically the Next Generation 2.0. As a matter of fact, the doctor, where's she? Whoop, I'm blocking her. Right, whoop, right there. This one.
Oh, right there.
Right there. There she goes. Yeah,
she was
the
in
doctor.
Deep Space Nine.
She was in DS9. So already he's got people from Next Generation and DS9 working on the show. And as a matter of fact, Jonathan Frakes, who directed a lot of episodes, he's directing, I think he's going to, or he already directed a show on the second season. He directed a couple in the first season. So Seth MacFarlane just, he took all the best people on the previous shows, and they're working on Orville now, which I think is a great move. And everybody, if you talk to all the fans, they prefer this instead of Discovery. Discovery is all over the place. They got this new storyline, a new plot where Spock supposedly had to see a psychiatrist, which makes no sense, and because he sees red angels, and then now they're searching for these red angels so they can find Spock. I mean, the whole story is plain stupid as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh, be careful.
Yeah, screw them. As far as I'm concerned, it's a dumb storyline, and the rumor is that the people behind Discovery, they want to change the whole timeline. As a matter of fact, Picard. The new series, they say his storyline is going to be about 3 seasons. Picard is coming back. He's an older admiral now, and basically what's happening with him is he's part of the whole Romulan from the first movie.
Yes.
The Kelvin timeline, where Spock goes back in time, and then Romulan world blows up along with the Vulcan world. That different timeline. Picard is actually part of that timeline. What they want to do is get rid of that timeline. Mm-hmm. Let's show it again. Let's be edgy. They want to get rid of that timeline altogether, and they want to separate it. Yeah, they want to get away from that timeline and have nothing to do with it. So Picard is part of the new timeline of the Kelvin timeline, and they want to just get it. Well, basically, what they're doing with Discovery is rebooting the whole timeline. So we might see another Enterprise all over again. Yeah. Chris Pike and Thor.
Chris Helmsworth.
Right, Thor. The two Chris's, right. They said no to the new Star Trek movie. They said basically. Yeah, money. Yeah,
it's all about money.
It's all about money.
It's not about your principles. This is your principles.
That's the way. That's how the way Hollywood is now. Right, it's all about the money.
Yeah, and it should be more about the art. If you're more about this, then you're not destined for success.
Yeah, Hollywood doesn't care. So
it's not about Hollywood. It's about the actors too have to care. If you don't care about the integrity of something, it's going to show, and eventually people are going to figure you out. It's like with Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger. Bruce Willis was all about this, and Schwarzenegger said, "Oh, if you're all about this, get out of here. I don't need you. Because if you're just going to walk through my movie, beat it. I'm going to pay you $3 million for 2 minutes."
That was funny, yeah.
Yep. And that's what it happens, when you start becoming all about this. People say, is this guy really that good? I mean, is this just going to walk through my movie, collect his $3 million out the door, and do like 2 minutes?
That was for what, the Expendables.
Yes.
Right, and they get Harrison Ford, but his deal was he got paid less money, but he worked less days. I think Bruce Willis, his contract, he works like 5-6 days for a movie.
Yeah, but he was only doing like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Well, sometimes it takes a couple of days to film,
Yes.
depending on how they're gonna film it. Harrison Ford basically was sitting in a helicopter.
Yes.
One scene, he came up, he's out of the what was the line he had? He's out of the picture.
Yes. He said the other guy's out of the picture.
Yeah, the other guy's out of the picture. That was
a tip of the hat.
on top of the head, a little tongue-in-cheek line there, and that's one scene. And the other scene, he was in the helicopter. That's it. Days pay.
That's hard work.
That and a lot of actors are doing that. They're only for a couple of cameos, and that's it. And they get
That's
paid
what I'm
for
saying.
$2-3 million.
That's what I'm saying. Eventually, just replace them with voice actors and do CGI. For all the time I always speak about the Marvel movies, I always say the thing about most people loved about Raz and Rock, and some people don't know what they're saying what they liked about it. But a lot of people, I think, enjoyed Thor. Enjoyed the Hulk in the film. They really enjoyed Hulk. It was almost like a Hulk movie because the whole premise, that part about him being on a planet was stolen from a Marvel movie called Hulk Planet.
Right.
If you've seen it, it's basically a Hulk movie.
Right.
And they just did, and they're just doing voiceover on that. And that's what they should just basically do. Just do a lot of CGIs, like Thanos, CGI him, and bring him in, voice actor, Rocket Raccoon. People love that stuff. And some people are saying, nah, that's not going to work. It's going to work. Trust me. You put a gorilla in Guardians of the Galaxy, replace all the actors with CGI, who's going to notice?
Nah.
Nobody. Nobody's going to notice, and no one's going to care.
As a matter of fact, what's the latest rumor on that? That James Gunn, they're gonna, he's not directing Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, they're going to use his script.
They're going to use his script, right?
But they threw him out, so he's going to do Suicide Squad 2.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's great. And remember I was telling you about, oh my God, I just hope Suicide Squad wins, works out, because I want him to do a good Suicide Squad script. And that's all they need, a good, cohesive script. And I remember a long time ago you were saying, nah, this is not good. Yeah, and you were right. It wasn't good, but it has a lot of potential. It's sort of like, if anything, Suicide Squad is more of sort of cowboys than anything else.
Yeah.
It's fit for like being some kind of Magnificent Seven. It's geared for that. They just need a good script.
Yeah.
And if you killed certain people off, that's the funniest thing too. Because they killed some guy like Slipknot, they blew off his head. And you're like, I can't believe they blew his head off. Yeah, because he was basically a one-off character. And that's the greatest thing you could do with Suicide. It could be like the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
So the Dirty Dozen it. Tim Gunn.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Not James Gunn. Is it Jim Gunn?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah,
James Gunn, right.
Is a fashion guy, sorry.
Okay. Look at Venom. Venom basically half the time is the creature, and that's and you don't see Tom Hardy.
People love it. Yeah, people love the creature, and they love how Tom Hardy would do his interaction with a CGI character.
Yeah.
Like he almost has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And the CGI character, people loved the CGI character more.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. And I told you, you can eventually replace all these actors who are getting paid way too much money to be in 2 minutes worth of dialogue, because half of them you don't even need them. The voice actors are sometimes even better auditors than the actors they hire.
Right.
And that's what a lot of actors are fearful of. That's why a lot of actors don't want to wear the mask, because they say, then I could be replaced. Exactly. That's what happened with V from Vendetta. The actor, he got annoying, so they replaced him, and they replaced him with Hugo Loring, the guy from the Matrix, and Lord of the Rings, because the other actor was becoming too much of a pain in the rear end, and they got rid of him and replaced him. And since he had a mask, nobody could tell the difference.
Oh, that was the same argument with Tobey Maguire on Spider-Man. Hey, he was complaining that they don't see enough of him, to the point where in number 3, he's fighting the Sandman, and then in that version fighting Venom, and half his mask is torn off because he was complaining, oh, nobody can see me, the actor, playing Spider-Man. I said, nobody wants to see you. Everybody wants to see Spider-Man. So his mask was kind of like torn off so you can see his face, which made no sense.
No one cares. It's sort of like, who said it best? There's 2 lines I always laugh at the most, where it was Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, where he was up on the rafters or up on this pile of stuff, and then he saw the 2 bad guys who was going to beat them up. He goes, my stuntman is going to beat your ass. And out of nowhere came another guy dressed up like Deadpool and did all the fighting scenes. In other words, it's not really me, folks. I'm in a mask. You can't see who it is. Does it really matter? No.
No, it doesn't matter.
No. It's just my voice.
Yeah, he was, that's what I like about Deadpool. He was breaking the 4th wall, talking to the audience, you know?
Because, in other words, Ryan Reynolds was okay with getting paid a salary, covering up his face, because he didn't want to do all those stunts. So he was just getting some other stuntmen, and he does that a lot. He lets you know a lot of the times it's probably not him. It's probably just a stuntman, and it's just his voiceover.
Well, as a matter of fact, Lego Movie is doing huge, and number 2 is doing huge at the box office. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised on the cast and the voices over here. You can't even tell. You don't recognize the voices.
No.
Just go to IMDb and check out the cast list, okay? And there's so many actors. It's like, she was in that, he was in that, and you can't even tell the voices.
Yeah, and some of the voices, they could have hired better voice actors. I'm surprised they didn't. For example, for Batman, they went with Will Arnett,
right?
Who's not the original exactly.
Who?
He was in Arrested Development. Exactly.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't hire the original Batman voice, who they could have hired, who did years of Batman.
Oh, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, they could have hired
Kevin
Conroy. He's probably cheaper.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they went with Will Arnett, who's like, who?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
was surprised at the cast list. I can't remember the names, but look it up on IMDb, and it's you can't even tell half the voices.
No.
You know.
Will Ferrell was in it. Well, what's the guy who always does the voices for everything? He was in Electric Company. You know.
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman was in it.
Well, he plays God. Him, you can tell his voice.
Play God. He plays the Wizard.
Right.
Remember the Wizard? He's a wizard.
That's right. He played the wizard, but he's always playing God in something else.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
But what's happening now, especially with a lot of these actors and stuff, Hollywood's not giving them the big paychecks like they want. So they're all going to Netflix. Netflix is giving out the paychecks.
Hollywood probably shouldn't even give them the big paycheck, because it just shows you. Sometimes you listen to more of the voice. Look at the most famous voice actor is Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Was the guy and the voice the same person? No. But it works. It's like they said to Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch, look, Johnny Bravo, just wear the suit. Nobody cares if it's you or not singing.
Yeah.
And he's right. He didn't care. That's why people don't want to play Batman, because it's like, if I play Batman, who am I then? I'm just a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically, yeah.
That's who you are. Just put on that damn suit and shut up. Nobody cares about you. They want to see Batman. They want to see Spider-Man. They want to see these people fighting. They don't care who you are, Tom Harlan or Hollander or whoever the heck you think you are. No one cares.
Right. The only thing Tom Holland has got going for him, he sometimes he does his own stunts because he knows how to do those what do you call them?
Flips? Acrobatics?
Yeah. He actually does his own flips and stuff like that.
Yeah, but still, if you put a stuntman, for
example, you can't even tell.
You can't even tell. If I was him and they wanted to put a stuntman for scary stunt work, I'm like, go ahead. I don't want to hurt my back.
Yeah. But that's what happened to the original Batman.
Tobey Maguire. He hurt his back, and he didn't want to be in the next Spider-Man because he said his back hurt.
Yeah.
And as soon as they gave him the right thing, all of a sudden, hey, look at you, my back's fine, la, la, la.
Well, it didn't work out for him for Spider-Man number 4, where he's supposed to fight Mysterio.
I think
They canceled that. He wanted $40 million.
Yeah, they said, okay, you're done.
Time to reboot Spider-Man. Yeah, that's
actually,
what killed that.
Yeah, that made Tobey Maguire's career. Before that, no one even cared who Tobey Maguire was.
Nobody cares anymore either.
Yeah, it's about the suit.
It's all about the suit.
It's like they always care about who you are as long as you're in the suit. As soon as you're not in the suit anymore, no one cares. Look at the second Spider-Man. Do we even remember his name?
The English guy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Andrew Garfield, I think it was.
There you go. The only way we remember is because we think about Garfield the cat.
Yeah, that's a shame. But he did that war movie though with Mel Gibson.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah, he was directed by Mel Gibson. I forget the name of the movie.
I could just imagine next time we'll be like, hey, when am I going to see Andrew Garfield in another movie? Man, who cares?
Yeah, well,
I'm not sweating.
Now he does sophisticated drama because he's an actor.
Well, go ahead.
Fine.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
But anyway, you don't see any other actors complaining on this cast over here. They're all lucky they got a job working with Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, well, until they get too big for their britches.
What? Any favorite episodes? The one episode that people still are really annoyed, which was supposed to be in season 1, but it got bumped
to season 2.
To season 2 was the one we keep blocking him. Yeah, that guy. Wait, I tell you, this guy.
Oh, him.
Yeah, but he was addicted to porn.
Oh, Portis?
Portis, I think his name is. Yeah, he was addicted to porn, and that left a lot of people like,
that got too.
They were kind of pushing it. And the other episode that people didn't like was the one with Rob Lowe, where he's basically screwing everybody. He even screws with the captain. He played an alien that everybody falls in love with.
Yeah, because of his hormones or something, or
something like that. But the last episode I think was pretty cool, where she actually the doctor. I'm keep blocking her.
Was dating the robot?
Yeah, and he actually show who the robot is.
Oh.
He actually becomes he takes a human form, and that's the guy who actually does the voice. So you know,
it's probably a smart thing for him to identify himself, because if he gets replaced within a season, sort of like Seth MacFarlane would say, he replaced, when he had Family Guy, certain actresses were replaced. And you would know them, and he would make a funny comment about, like, oh, it's amazing, like this one actress, she has really a lot of potential to become really somebody famous, but I guess she didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And he made references like that. So I guess our friend here, the robot, probably figured, if I don't show my face at least once, people are going to forget who's behind the mask, and I can be replaced anytime they want. Anytime I start crying for more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still replaceable.
It's still replaceable.
Yeah.
But
just a guy in a suit.
Well, how about this little cutie pie over here? She left the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors why she left the show. She got better job offers or whatever. She got out of contract and she left the show, and she got replaced. She turned out to be one of like the favorites of the show. And she booked. Well, who knows? But it's a shame she left though.
Well, I think the thing I found popular about, we have a minute. The thing I found the most popular about her is she had superpowers, so she was like Superwoman or Wonder Woman. So we have less than a minute. Go ahead.
Well, we're going to be talking more about Star Trek. There's a lot of stuff we didn't cover. We're going to be back just before the Oscars. Maybe Black Panther will get it, and we're going to be talking more Star Trek when we come back in 2 weeks. And we'll see you on YouTube. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next show.
That's Frank out. I'm Mark. Watch us on YouTube, please. Subscribe, like, do all the things you can. Send us email. I don't know.
Just watch
some flares.
Yeah, just watch us on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Do it for the children. Yeah.
Please. Always about the children.
Always about the children.
Peace.
Take care. Yeah, did I leave anything out?